Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today we got our tier list and we are going to put this out just a little bit early, and I feel like it's only right to put it out early solely because there weren't many changes in this season to Legends. We got Ash and then they made changes to Watson, so you know, I just feel like at this point now is a good time to talk about the tier list. And in today's video, man, you guys can kind of expect somewhat of an in-depth guide, or not guide, but breakdown as to what the legends can do and why I have them where they are. Also, the map is going to play some part in why these legends are where they are right now in this current split. So I just want to give you guys that little bit of a heads up, man. This list is bound to change, especially when buffs come out or nerfs come out, and also when the second split gets ready to come, because like I said, the environment in that map I think also plays a role in just how useful that legend is at that moment. So with all that being said, man, I hope that you guys do end up enjoying this video, and if you do, be sure to hit that like button. Also, we are still trying to reach our sub goal, man, so it would be much appreciated if you guys would just hit that sub button. But also, I want to give thanks to everybody that has recently hit that button. We are almost at 400 subs. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to me. You have no idea. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this tier list video. All right, to no one's surprise at this point, man, we already gonna be going ahead and starting off with the C tier. Now, guys, I want to say this too. C tier is not that it's like, oh, these are shit legends, never use them, don't touch them, whatever the case may be. To me, I think that Apex has made it to where every legend is good, but there's just like, are they ranked good? Do they add value to the team in a ranked situation? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm basing it off of. And if we're talking about pubs, I'm gonna be real, guys. Use whoever the hell you want. Everybody can do their own thing and they're all good in their own way, so use whoever the hell you want. To start us off in the C tier of who adds value to a team in ranked, C tier is gonna have to start us off with Mirage. Now, Mirage has had a decent amount of changes where they were trying to mess around with his kit. As we all know, now he can throw his decoy and actually control it to where it mimics his movements. Then his ultimate, which I think is a better thing, those decoys also mimic his movement. And then his passive, which allows him to res a teammate, but he goes invisible while he's doing it. So I think those things are all great, and it's a fun little gimmicky thing for Mirage. But outside of that, there's no real value to him on this new map. Now, granted, with as big as this map is and all the areas that you can explore, I think Mirage's decoys can add a little more value to his solo play, but he just doesn't add that value to a team to where it was like, okay, you know, thanks to a Mirage, we were able to survive a situation like with a Gibby bubble or a Wraith portal or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, Mirage does not give that value, which is fine. Not everybody needs to give that type of value to the team, but for me, when you get up to the higher tiers and ranked, he just doesn't provide that. Next in C tier, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Fusey Boy in there. Now look, y'all, he did get some buffs and they were not that bad of buffs, and I definitely know that Fuse can help a team, especially if you want to just go crazy with the grenades, have him hold all of them and just shoot them hoes like it ain't no tomorrow. But on this map, I don't know if Fuse is necessarily going to be needed, because if we were on World's Edge, I might, not necessarily guaranteed, but there's a slight possibility I move Fuse up to a B tier because of how World's Edge is and everything like that. Fuse might then become a little more valuable. But as of right now, on the new little tropical beach island, whatever it's called, split something, I don't think Fuse as much valuable assets to the team. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good legend now, especially with the changes, like I said, but because of this map, I don't know if I want to put Fuse up there in B tier just yet. But for the people that don't know, Fuse did get a change to his knuckle cluster. He has 2 of them, as I think he already did have, but they last longer and they hit just a smidge bit harder, so that's nice. You guys already know his passive. He gets to hold grenades 2 in 1 slot. He shoots them farther and faster, and I mean, honestly, that about him is really fun and exciting. And then his ultimate, which now when you're caught in the ring of fire, well, in that, you guys are actually scanned by Fuse, which is crazy because now he's just like another recon character. But yeah, so there's that. And then the fire, obviously, when you touch it, slows you down significantly, bro. So yeah, Fuse in World's Edge or King's Canyon, definitely throwing him up into a higher tier. But as of right now on this map, I don't think he is going to be higher up. Lastly, the last legend I want to put in C tier, and I'm gonna be real with you guys, this one is a little tough for me to want to put this legend there because I definitely know that they still add a lot of value to a team and they are very helpful. But just because of the map, like I said, the map plays a pretty big role in where a legend is like useful to me. Like I know there are some people that's like, it doesn't matter if you're Ace U or if you're Timmy or Nice Wig, any of these higher up people, then it really doesn't matter who you use because you're just gonna pretty much be better than 90% of the people that you go up against. So you know what I mean, they can use whoever they want. But if we're talking about for everybody else, like the casuals, who is where I try to direct my attention towards in the community because there's more casuals than anything, Crypto is C tier on this map because, as we all know, Crypto's drone prevents him from being able to move around or do anything, so he's left out in the open. And with this map, it's a 50-50. You might be in an area where there's a lot of places to be kind of secluded and have Crypto hide, but there's also a decent amount of places where you're out in the open and Crypto's drone, now it's like, yeah, you can still use it, but what cover are you gonna be hiding behind? Where are you gonna, you know what I mean? And it's just, this map is not essentially it's not good for Crypto because of how open it can be. So I don't think Crypto is the right legend for this map in particular. World's Edge, Crypto is higher up in my opinion. Go ahead and throw him on B tier. But right now on this one, he's just, I wouldn't go with him. And on top of that, there are other legends that can do what Crypto does essentially and not have to put themselves at harm's way to get off a scan or whatever. EMP is really good. His EMP is extremely good in my opinion, but I just don't think there's a need for Crypto at the moment. When he gets a buff, man, things might obviously change. If he gets that buff, y'all, depending on what it is, I might say if it's a really good buff, he might jump up to B or possibly A tier, but they'd have to give him a pretty good buff for him to jump up that high on this map alone. This map alone, based off of the buff and the other maps, he might be S tier. I don't know though. I don't know what type of buffs they're gonna give him. So let's just leave it at that. Okay, moving on up to B tier, man. Let's go ahead and throw Rampart in there real quick. So Rampart was one of the legends last season that saw the most recent buff to her kit, where she now gets to run around with Sheila and everything like that, and she can be dangerous. She definitely can. So I think with that buff, that throws her up in B tier slightly, and especially on this map, she's not gonna struggle too much. She has her shields where she can bunker down in the areas that do have decent amount of coverage, and she can provide more cover for the team. Sorry about that, I just smacked the mic. But so I think on this map, she's okay. I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to use her. And then if you guys want, for the people that don't know, she does have a little gimmicky bug in the game at the moment, I guess you say, where you would throw 2 or 3 shields down. I saw Staycation doing it on his stream, but where you would throw 2 or 3 shields down and Ash can forever throw her little kunai. So yeah, sorry for everybody else out there that didn't want that to be known. It's out there. Actually, at this point, I'm not even the only YouTuber that's telling people about it. Everybody else knows too. So for those of you that didn't know, yes, that is a thing. You can just spam it and it'll keep coming back instantly, and just spam it. But you have to be behind all 3 of Rampart's little shields. It's fun for pubs. In ranked, I don't really see it being an asset unless you just get the perfect circle or the scenario, whatever the case may be. So yeah, next up on this list, I'm gonna go ahead and say Loba. Loba is B tier on this map. Now, her bracelet allows her to get away from a lot of situations and just move across this map pretty fluidly. So I think that's really good for her. And then she has her black market booty, which is really good because this map has a lot of good loot around. But sometimes it's like so wide out that it's like, oh shit, okay, I kind of got to go over there and find something in this little bin or this building real quick. But not with her, obviously. We all know. So Loba, I think, adds some pretty good value to a team, especially if you're like, okay, I need to go ahead and find some loot. Let me just throw this black market down and she gonna have it all for you. So we already know all the things Loba and how she can be really useful to a team. I wouldn't say A tier for this, you know, split of ranked, but definitely a good legend. If you were to pick her, if she was on your team, you're not going to be upset having a Loba because that's free loot. So I think she's a good legend. She's in a really good place, especially with this map, like I said before. So if you want to run Loba, not a bad choice. Not a bad choice at all. She might even jump up higher later on as the rest of this split goes by. So next up in B tier, we already know Bangalore. Now the thing about Bangalore, she's still good. There's nothing wrong with her whatsoever, but there's nothing about her that like stands out and really is just like a, ooh, you know what we need, or you know what'd be great? A Bangalore. But she's just kind of been at this stagnant B tier for so long now. Like, I still want a buff, but she doesn't necessarily need a buff. You know what I mean? Like, her smokes are really good if you're trying to get out of some sticky situations. Her passive, which lets you run faster when you get shot at, also pretty good. And it's that the ult, I know it's more so for like, okay, let me get out of another sticky situation and push people back or force people into a certain situation. But it's definitely situational with her. And I don't know. I don't think she's bad, man. I'm not trying to shit on the Bangalore mains whatsoever, but I think there's a lot left to be desired from Bangalore. I think she could be a little better. But again, you're not gonna look at somebody side eye for running a Bangalore in a ranked situation, bro. You're just not. So Bangalore is just that legend that's plateaued, bro. She hasn't gone anywhere since shit. Almost, it feels like since the start of the game. So I think that's all I really have to say about Bangalore, man. Shorter little thing to say about her, but that's the honest truth. Then lastly, to hit B tier, Caustic. Now, I definitely don't have an issue with putting Caustic at A tier, y'all. Like, no issues whatsoever. But the way this map is, where it can be really open, I can see it kind of playing against him and not playing in his favor. And you know, I've definitely played against some Caustics in ranked already, and I'm like, wow, man, a Caustic in this situation definitely helped me out. So that's why I'm saying, like, I could see him potentially jumping up to A tier, but I also know, like, okay, with this map, that slightly holds him back just a little because of how open it can be. But like I said, no issues with throwing Caustic up in A tier whatsoever if you guys wanted to. But that's also another really good legend that can be used in a lot of scenarios. Right, moving on into A tier, man, you guys already know these are the legends that you could definitely run an entire team based off of, man. So let's go ahead and start us off with Horizon. Horizon is definitely an A tier legend, man, because of, yeah, again, if you guys take the cannons, you can essentially skip across the whole damn map because of her damn passive gravity boots where she hits the ground running. So that's super good. Her gravity lift, still a really good thing to have, man, because now they fixed that little strafe speed. So she's not as fast as when she first came out, but she's better than when they nerfed her. So now it's just like Horizon's kind of back on top, man. And then there's always her ultimate, which pulls people in, or it just, Horizon is at a very good spot in the game right now where she can add value on this map, and it does not hurt her to be in the lineup. She is a really good legend, man. If you're thinking about running Horizon again, or if you're wondering like who to use Horizon is a great legend. Let's go Seer for the next legend in A tier. Seer is definitely deserving to be A tier because even with that slight little bit of a nerf they gave him, he is still completely strong. That heartbeat, you can still find people. His big ass dome where he is able to see people, whether, you know, when they're running or fighting, whatever the case may be, that's still extremely helpful on this map. And then his tactical ability, which allows him to stop people from healing, resin, doing whatever they need to do. Like, it's definitely good, and Seer is definitely a really good legend to use on this map. I haven't seen him much lately, but if you want to throw Seer into the rotation, even with this map, he is going to be perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with him. He still has a lot of great value to a team, man, and we already know. I could go on and on about Seer. One of my top 3 favorite legends in the game. Still love this dude, and I think Seer is a great recon character to run on this map. Let's go ahead and put Octane as A tier. Now, Octane, he saw some changes. I don't want to say nerfs, but with this season, he definitely saw some changes. Now, when you take in his launch pad, it's a lot louder. You definitely hear him and know where he's coming from, but that doesn't stop him from being a good legend. He's still very good for that ability to quickly push and third party a team or potentially rotate through the map with his launch pad. So Octane, again, he's still really good. I just think that A tier for him is a decent little spot on this map with as big as it is, you know what I mean? If you want to run Octane in your lineup, nobody's gonna be upset, especially if you know what I mean, you're using your launch pads to help the team and you're third partying at the right time. The only time I see people being upset with you as an Octane is when you're just overly aggressive for some fights and you keep pushing shit and you keep dying. Don't be one of those Octanes. The next legend on this A tier list, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Lifeline in there. Lifeline to me is a legend that's always going to add value to a team and is always going to be very appreciated because she's the only medic on the damn game. So I know there are a lot of people like, there's no need for a Lifeline. You could say that, but everybody definitely appreciates a really good Lifeline. Somebody that's willing to pick them up, give them the drone, or you know what I mean? Like, just she adds a lot of value. I know she doesn't have the shield anymore when she res, but now she can pick 2 people up and still be able to fight. But Lifeline is one of those legends that's just like, it's annoying to go against her because you know if you get a drop, if you don't immediately push, she's getting that person up. And shit, even when you do drop that person, she's already immediately getting them up, and her and the other teammate that you have not dropped are both holding angles waiting for you to push because they know it's happening. So man, I'm gonna go ahead and throw Rev in there. Rev, I think, is still a really good legend. I understand this map is a lot bigger, so it's a little harder to use his totem and play it the way that you could on like a World's Edge and for sure a King's Canyon and all that. But he still can add a lot of value with silencing people's abilities so they can't, you know, just spam whatever the hell their ability is. He has a damn near infinite climb, which is really good and helps him out a lot. And like I said, that ultimate is still pretty nice to have. You know what I'm saying? You can safely push and try and third party something without necessarily being in a shitty situation. Now, there are times when you're trying to third party and then you get fourth partied and somebody destroys your damn Rev totem, and it happens. It definitely happens. That doesn't just happen because of this map. On any map, it can happen anywhere where you're thinking you're third partying and then another third party comes in and fucks up your little plan. So that it's not based off of the map, but I think Rev still adds a lot to a team, especially on this map. You just have to learn how to play him right. Just like any legend, you have to learn how to use them right, but I think Rev can add so much to a team, especially if you run him with the right legends. You just have to pair him with the right ones. Ashe is a A tier legend. Now, I know some people gonna say, after again being in Staycation stream, I asked him about it. I asked him how he felt about Ashe, where she was. He says A tier, which I strongly agree. He also stated that some people don't feel like she even deserves to be on the tier list, which I think is crazy as hell. And then you have some people that might feel like she's S tier. Let me go ahead and break it down as to why I say she is A tier. Ashe is really good and she's really fun to play. Slight learning curve, not really a big one, but hear me out. So her portal, I love how instant that thing is and how you can get in and out of some shit. The downside to the portal is it's a one-way portal. So if you port into a bad and shitty situation, you can no longer get back and get the hell up out of that bad situation. You're just fucked. That's where you are and that's it. Also, unlike her counterpart Wraith, you can't like maneuver it and move it to the side. It's a one shot, it goes in one direction. Now, it's not bad because you can put it up on high ground without having to be up there first, you know, unlike Wraith and everything like that. But like I said, the fact that it's a one-way portal is kind of it's just slightly hurting her in that situation. It's great for aggressive moves. Shit, it's really even great for defensive moves when you're in a bad situation. You need a quick escape. Great. But with all that, I just don't think that's enough to make Ashe S tier, because S tier is like almost like a god in the game, and it's like every scenario this legend is just super good and they're amazing and they're great. Her tactical, her little Tesla wire thing, whatever, her shit that's an arc star and grabs people, really good too. Especially if you could grab somebody and get them. That thing is nice and is definitely good, but not overpowered, not broken, not any of that. It's just a good move. Her passive is extremely good in a lot of scenarios because you get to see where a lot of the action is and you kind of get an idea, okay, there are a lot of teams there's a team there, and finding people from across the map essentially, super good. Also, for the people that did not know, with her passive, if you see a line going across the skull, that means that team is already dead, so there's no need for you to go ahead and use your passive. Just a little tip for you guys if you didn't know that. I don't know if you guys did, but I just thought, hey, I put it out there so you know, all right, cross against the skull, I don't need to use my passive because they're dead. Getting into the legends that I do think are OP, especially for this map, you guys can already see them down there. Let's go ahead and just throw Bloodhound in there. We know why they're good. This legend has wall hacks. Wall hacks, bro, that's cheating. That's essentially, Bloodhound is the only legend aside from Seer who can also do it, but Bloodhound scan is just on a wider scale. Seer has to wait for his ultimate to go off, and you know, people can counter it by crouching and not moving and all that, which is cool. It's whatever, you can still work around it with Seer. But Bloodhound has wall hacks, and then they activate their ultimate and they get faster wall hacks. You know what I mean? Bloodhound is tracking you across the damn map if they want to. Bloodhound is a OP legend, and you can't convince me otherwise. You really can't. Every fucking map, every scenario, Bloodhound is still up there on top. You can put them in any map, bro, and they are going to be one of the go-to, if not the most go-to legend in this game with those damn wall hacks. So that's all I need to say about them. Bloodhound is a damn cheater, and I love it. Up on this list is Valk. You cannot convince me at this point in time that she is not a S tier legend on this map because of her ability to rotate. You can easily rotate to a fight. You can easily get yourself out of a fight. With as big as this map is, Valkyrie can clear so much of the space and the gap between whatever the case may be. She can get you to the next circle if that's where you need to be, but you can't get there because you know there are teams holding you. Valkyrie is that legend to get you there. And on top of that, when you're flying through the air, she is scanning people. She's giving away their position and letting you know exactly where teams are. Yes, her tactical ability is not that great, but like I said, her ultimate and her passive, amazing. And the fact that she can fly up to certain heights and shit like that. If you really get good with Valkyrie, the movement is insane, bro. She can make a lot of plays and adds so much value to a team on this big ass map. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and throw that boy Pathy in there. Pathy to me is a legend that has made their way back in, and again, You can argue and say, okay, take Pathy out of S tier and put somebody like Horizon in S tier. That's fine, you can make that argument. But I know, again, with as big as this map is, Pathfinder's zipline for his team adds a lot of value because you get to those hard to get reach spots or whatever the case may be. And then the damn grappling hook that he has for himself, still really good. I wish he had something more on his passive, but I don't know if they're ever really gonna give him something else with his passive that kind of really stands out like that. But even with all that being said, man, Pathfinder adds a lot of value and a lot of good value to a team with his zip lines and repositioning and things like that. And especially on this map, repositioning and shit like that is really, really good and is really valued from everything that I've seen and everything that I've been going through my damn self. It's extremely valued on this map in this season, bro. Then next up, let's go ahead and throw my girl Wraith in there. Now, I know a lot of people was probably thinking like, well, I felt like Ashe was gonna be the Wraith killer. And, you know, in some aspects, Ashe is the Wraith killer in some aspects, bro. Some aspects, Ashe is just better than Wraith, especially with the fact that she gets to have an instant portal immediately. Straight like that, she's gone. In and out, you know what I mean? But Wraith's portal, we all know, was more so for like repositioning or possible really good rotations. And the fact that you get to go in and out that portal as much as you want until it disappears is super good. And I don't know if many people know this, but Wraith's portal goes farther than Ashe's portal does. Ashe's portal, if I'm not mistaken, is cut off at like 62 to 63. But with Wraith, her portal goes up to 70. I can't remember the exact number. I want to say maybe 72. It might be 72. So she has an extra 10 meters on Ashe. Again, some people don't think that's all that great. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I understand. But for the rotation and all that Wraith can provide, and the fact that you can get in and out of that portal, super, super useful, man. Like, she's great for those purposes. And that's why, to me, I still think she can stay up there. And if Wraith decides to do that portal and puts herself in a shitty situation, she can phase to keep herself alive. And like I said, she can take that portal back to where her teammates are and kind of be in a safer spot, because a lot of people already know, if I am going to take this Wraith portal, there is more than likely a team waiting on the other end of it. So I'm not gonna take it my damn self. Next up, let's go ahead and throw Wattson in there with all those damn buffs that she got. And yes, man, I get it, this map, gigantic. Like, why is Wattson even in there with as big as this map is and as open as it can be, man? Wattson, all those things. If you guys don't know, I'm gonna have the little link or whatever up in the top right corner or left corner for you guys, I guess, or for me, I don't know. It's gonna be up there. Wattson can add a lot of value to the team with her ultimate, and those Tesla wires really do something now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you still probably need to be bunkered down inside of a building, but she can still use that out in the open. And again, it's nothing to get around them or destroy them. But I think Wattson adds a lot of value to the team, and the fact that she's catching nades and shit when people want to spam them, I think that's amazing. I also love the fact that it is giving you 250 shield. I know some people would probably want more, but it's a fast 250 shield charge up time with that ultimate, and it's amazing. And then last but not least, we have Gibby. I don't really even need to go into depth like that. We just know Gibby has been the shit since, it feels like, the beginning of time. But that's not true, because Gibby was one of the worst legends at first, and then they started to mega buff him, especially when they gave us World's Edge. So I think, what, season 4, maybe season 3? I think season 4 is when we started to see a mega shift in the fucking meta with Gibby always being on top. Gibby's bubble keeps you safe wide in the open. Gibby's ultimate is 10 times better than Bangalore's. Gibby's passive, you in this bubble, he's picking you up a little faster than when most legends pick you up. Also, you get to heal a little quicker inside of Gibby's bubble. They've also made Gibby's bubble taller. It's a little bit bigger, man. So it's crazy. Gibby has an arm shield. Gibby has fortified. Like, he is broken. He's broken. So Yeah, Gibby is one of those legends that's probably always going to be in S tier unless they really nerf him down to the ground. But Gibby is a must-have legend. That nigga right there is a must-have legend. That's gonna do it with the tier list. I know I'm probably gonna make a lot of people upset, but hey, this is my tier list and my opinion on a lot of these legends. Again, I am willing to flip 2 legends if you guys want to have a decent, not even argument, but debate in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? I have no issue with that. But I think this is, at the moment, as of this split, is a pretty accurate, you know, tier list. Like I said, you could even possibly switch Octane into S tier if you still really feel like, hey, go ahead and take Pathfinder out and put Octane there. Okay, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's just have a good little discussion about it. But I think right now, this is pretty damn good. I know some people probably don't want Ashe in here at all, and some people want her a lot higher, but I'm telling you, I just think this is where she is right now. Not overpowered, but in a really, really good spot with everything. And like I said, man, you have to take into account the map and how it affects the legends. So with all that being said, I've already talked way too long on this tier list, and it's just going to continue to get longer every season because they continuously add new legends. No complaints from me, no complaints whatsoever, but this is the current, you know, tier list meta that we have, man. You guys can really get by with every legend in the S tier. Every legend in the A tier, you can still really get by. B tier, you might want to mix in some A's or some S's in there. And then C tier, I just would leave them alone until it's a map change or they really start buffing people a little more, whatever the case may be. But I'll leave that up for you guys to decide, man. I hope that you guys did enjoy this, and I hope this was very helpful and insightful. And with all that being said, man, I gotta get up out of here, and I look forward to catching y'all in the next one.
Yeah, you don't even know my name. You don't understand my pain. They tryna get him a drive, nigga. They got me moving a lot quicker, yeah. I don't ever wanna change. Make no sense for me to stay the same. I got my hand on the glide, nigga. She got her hand on my cot, wait, look. Name a nigga that's real on God, I got curious. I got no love in my heart, yeah, I'm serious. Money problem keep them toting that on. Saying fine, but you know I'm lying. Suffer in silence, cause don't no one give a fuck, really. I'm tired of playing in games. Only influenced by pain, but I influence the same. Dog, it's a shame.